The night sky over the Middle East was unusually quiet. A cold wind moved slowly across the desert, carrying with it a strange tension that no one could fully explain. For months, the world had been watching the growing conflict between two powerful nations, the United States and Iran. Political arguments, economic sanctions, and military warnings had pushed both countries closer and closer to the edge. Many people believed war was no longer just a possibility, it was becoming inevitable. In a small military base near the Persian Gulf, American soldiers prepared for what could become one of the most important missions of their lives. Radar screens glowed in the dark control room, while officers studied maps and satellite images. The atmosphere was serious and quiet. Captain Daniel Harris stood near the operations table, staring at the large digital map in front of him. He had served in the military for more than 12 years, but tonight felt different. Tonight carried the weight of history. "Is everything ready?" he asked calmly. A technician nodded. "Aircraft are in position, Captain, awaiting final authorization." Thousands of miles away, in Tehran, Iranian military commanders were also preparing. Intelligence reports had warned them that something unusual was happening. Surveillance systems were activated, and defense units were placed on high alert. General Reza Farhadi looked out of the window of the command center. The city lights of Tehran stretched far into the distance. He knew that if conflict started, millions of innocent people could be affected. "Stay alert," he ordered his officers. "If anything enters our airspace, we respond immediately." Back over the dark waters of the Persian Gulf, several American fighter jets moved silently through the night sky. Their engines roared softly as they cut through the clouds. Inside one of the aircraft, Lieutenant Mitchell checked her instruments carefully. Her heartbeat was steady, but she knew the mission carried enormous consequences. "Control, this is Eagle 1, she spoke through her headset. "Approaching designated zone." "Copy that, Eagle 1. Proceed with caution." At the same moment, Iranian radar systems detected something unusual. "Sir, unidentified aircraft detected," an operator shouted inside the Iranian Defense Center. General Farhadi turned quickly. "Track them. Confirm their position." Large radar screens began to show moving signals approaching the region. Within seconds, alarms echoed through the room. "They are entering restricted airspace." The tension in the command center grew heavier with every second. Meanwhile, in Washington, government officials gathered in a secure meeting room. Advisors, military leaders, and intelligence experts watched live satellite feeds displayed on massive screens. The president leaned forward slightly. "Is there still time to stop this?" One of the advisors responded carefully. "Diplomacy has been attempted for months. At this point, both sides are prepared." Across the world, news agencies began reporting unusual military activity. Social media exploded with speculation. People everywhere watched their phones and television screens, waiting for updates. In Tehran, civilians continued their normal lives, unaware of how close danger might be. Families ate dinner, children played in the streets, and shopkeepers closed their stores for the night. War, if it came, would not only involve soldiers, it would affect everyone. Back in the sky, Lieutenant Mitchell saw warning signals suddenly flash across her dashboard. "I'm getting radar lock," she reported. Ground control responded immediately. "Iranian defense systems have detected you. Maintain course, but be ready to retreat." Moments later, Iranian fighter jets launched from a nearby airbase. The night sky that had been silent only minutes earlier now filled with roaring engines. Two sides were moving closer and closer toward confrontation. Inside her aircraft, Lieutenant Mitchell looked out at the endless darkness of the horizon. She thought about her family back home. She thought about the millions of people on the ground below. And she wondered if tonight would be remembered as the moment the world changed forever. Suddenly, a message arrived from command.
"Stand down." The voice came through clearly. "Repeat, stand down. Return to base immediately." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Mitchell took a deep breath. Eagle 1 returning to base. Far away in Tehran, the radar signal slowly disappeared from the screen. General Farhadi crossed his arms and looked at his officers. It seems the world has been given another chance tonight. In Washington, officials quietly stepped away from the screens. The tension between nations still existed, but for one night at least, the shadow of war had passed, and millions of people around the world continued their lives, unaware of how close history had come to changing forever.